And we are live playing
Hey,
Ironsworn, Eye of the Storm. How's it going, Zakiya?
it's going
I,
good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Would you have any suggestions about my opening intro? Like I always kind of say the same thing. I say, hello, I'm your humble host, Sergio, and then I
Mm,
introduce you. Like, is there anything I
mm.
can add to it to, like, add some flair? Or am I, how would you rate it?
I think it's very strong. I love the deep voice. I mean, I always say you can add like at least one
We
small
are
firework.
live! Just like deeper and
Yes,
deeper every session.
yes, come from there every time. Pyrotechnics are never a bad idea,
Well, that's what the
ever.
LEDs are for, as you can see in the background.
Yeah, we just want to like pop one then in the back, just like short one out really quick.
Yeah, let's see if I can flash them or something. Uh, that's kind of a boring flash. That's dumb. All right, we're gonna go back to red. I like red better.
Red is good.
Hi guys. This is session 15. We are playing Ironsworn. For those of you who don't know, Ironsworn is an amazing game that you can play solo or co-op or with a GM. We're kind of doing a co-op style. It's if you like it, you can find it on Ironsworn RPG. You can actually download it for free. So support the creator of this game. The creator of this game, Sean Tompkin, is actually holding a what's it called? A Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, a Kickstarter
Yeah.
for the new version of Ironsworn called Starforged. It's like a space version of Ironsworn that Eli and I have both actually invested in. So hopefully we'll get that Kickstarter sooner than later. But uh, I am with Zakiya today, and we are continuing the story of Ishana. I guess I should recap so that everyone understands what happened. Last session, what I take from it is that Ishana just was pushed to the limits in terms of like nonstop saving the world. She had to
Right.
get her wife and her daughter out of the storm or away from the storm as quickly as possible, just like shoulder carrying them. And then like made camp, but then like what happened after that? It got to the point where they were having to traverse through the savage village or like hex, and that was super stressful for her. They eventually like got to the middle hex, but was seen by some savage villager scouts, and rather than letting them run away, had to go and fight them. And just Ellie went with her and got stabbed and hurt, and so they Ishana carried her back to the tribe and then passed out. And then we were able to sojourn a little bit, and Ishana went about the task of trying to find a way to help her beautiful wife Alba, who seems to be slowly dying of some like lung disease or something that is making it hard for her to breathe, making her unable to sing her beautiful voice. We did establish she has a nice voice, um, and so we ended the session learning about a plant that could potentially um, alleviate some of the difficulty that she has sometimes breathing, like an aloe vera plant or an air plant, that magical plant that is found in the swamp. And we also got kind of called out by the other ironmongers. Ishana is an ironmonger and has not been spending time with the ironmongers enough, and they saw her spending time with the cartographers. Said, listen, you owe us one. The cartographers are going to go off to get some black iron. We want you to go with them, and we want you to take that black iron and one way or another bring it back to us. So that's where we left Ashana. The last roll was a strong hit with an opportunity. So I think we can start the session today um, knowing that we don't have to make any kind of special rolls to get to wherever this black iron might be, because like the cartographer knows where this stuff is. But I want to kind of create this cartographer with you a little bit. Is this Katyana the one that taught Ishana about the plant, or is it a different cartographer?
Ooh. I feel like it would make it worse to steal from someone that she already knows.
True.
But I kind of want to see what we can make.
Okay.
I want to start off with a new character.
So let me open up Ishana's character sheet. And if we look at their bonds, we have Catania, who is the cartographer. I don't think we need to create a new bond. Let's just
Work on her.
yeah, somewhere we'll just put it in the vow. We'll like specify who it is that we're doing this for. So if you want, roll a d100 and let's see what the names are.
Whoop.
Okay. Do you want to first decide if this is a man or a woman, or do you have a preference?
Ooh. Ah. Ah.
Because I realized, not that this is a problem, but I realized I've only been rolling on one Ironlander name table, and it's been the
Yes.
women's Ironlander name table. So there's been just a
Hey.
plethora of female characters, but
That's fine.
there's two tables.
I mean, let's mix it up. Let's get a mask name in
Okay.
there. A nice masculine name.
Nice masculine name. Is that what the cool kids are calling masculine these days?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All
I
right.
will say as a cool kid.
What did you get? A 6?
Oh, I did. Yes, I got a 6.
Okay, so 6 is Glynn. Glynn the cartographer. Glynn. So
Go, Glenn.
I'm gonna update our vow to say that Glynn is who we are helping. Do you want to roll for who they are, their disposition? I don't know. I'd get Glynn like, I'm Glynn, the old cartographer. You know.
I'm gonna say Glenn is small. He's absolutely peak nerd energy. He's like full botanist. He just he knows a lot about these plants.
Now remember, we're going after Black Iron, but it's okay if he's a botanist. That's cool because I think Ashana would want to be with a botanist to maybe ask him more questions.
Yes.
So that's cool. So Glynn, the botanist.
He has to say Glenn, like that's how you say his name.
Glynn.
That's
He
Glenn.
pushes up his glasses. Do we want to roll for their disposition?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another d100.
16.
Either cooperative or jealous.
Ooh.
Cooperative is probably the
Easier,
easiest to
yeah.
roll with. I don't quite know. I mean, jealous is funny because maybe he like instantly falls in love like seeing Ashana, and is just very kind of jealous that he can never have her. I don't know.
I don't want to make the first time we roll from the man's table a creep.
There's a trope of an incel weirdo, just like, oh Ashana, I love you.
I was gonna say, let's give Glenn some space to be better.
We're giving you space to be better, Glenn. You are a cooperative botanist.
He's chill. Yes.
Very chill, very cooperative. I always want to go like Mr. Magoo with my old characters, where he's just like kind of bumbling.
Yeah.
Cooperative kind of works in that world. So
This
okay,
capable large woman. Yes.
we have found Glynn. Glynn is on his way to find some black iron. Now, if we remember, black iron is like genetically like belongs to certain people, and like
Yes.
if your relative dies and is consumed by the storm, they become black iron, and only you can wield it because when you wield it, magical properties arise from the black iron. Right? That was the original
Yes.
idea. So he's going now. Glynn doesn't sound like much of a fighter, but he maybe he could turn it into like a rod or a magical staff, or use it in some other kind of way that would be beneficial.
Yeah, he would definitely use it for like tools. Like
Oh,
can
okay.
yeah, you can like re-smith the iron into other things. His wand is tools.
Is this like Minecraft where everyone has just been using stone or iron tools, and we discover the black iron tools? He makes like a black iron pickaxe.
I'm gonna say yes. I know nothing about Minecraft.
That's okay. We forgive you. The Twitch community forgives you, Zakiya.
Yes.
So we're going on this journey. Glynn knows where it is.
Yes.
Where is it? I think that again, the opportunity, or the last roll was a strong hit with an opportunity, so I think it makes sense that we can choose, and it's probably somewhere close. It's somewhere in the hex, right? So if you look at the map, what seems the most sensible to you?
I'm gonna say
We're
we have
usually
like
in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like there's a big forest, a heavy pine forest to the northeast. A more uh, like traditional forest down to the southeast. It's plains on the northwest and the southwest.
Let's do southeast. That feels good.
Okay. Um, I think we should maybe delve. Like, let's roll up like what this forest is like. Maybe it's a magical forest.
Okay.
Maybe it's something special.
Yes.
And we haven't delved in a little while, so let's do that. Let me get my. Here it is.
Cool. I know we've been getting a lot of corrupted places lately.
Yeah. I'm sick of the corruption. Okay, I'm ready for some eruption, if you know what I mean.
Ooh.
All right, so we have a domain that there's some obvious ones. One of them is called a Tanglewood. A Tanglewood is a perilous forest of eternal shadow. There's also well, there's something called the Barrow. The dead are enshrined here.
Ooh.
But there's also let's see, past mine. Just going through everything. The Tanglewood is the most forest-like. There's also a Shadow Fen, which is a primeval marsh cloaked in mist.
Hmm. I like Tanglewood because it feels like a good metaphor for what's going on. I feel like she's doing too much. I think Ashana's
Mm,
always doing too much.
yeah.
But having to essentially steal from people that she's convinced to be allies, if she gets a
Ah.
little tangled up in it herself.
Oh, okay. I love the themes and metaphors you're playing with there. Speaking of theme, let's pick a theme for this Tanglewood.
Okay.
And while we're doing this, if you wouldn't mind, in the character sheet, go to sites in the top left there, and
Cool.
we're gonna add a site. And
Okay.
if we can call it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Roll a d8. I'm
Okay.
gonna mix these cards up so it's completely random.
So two.
1, 2. An infested Tanglewood is what we come into. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
foul creatures dwell here. I was about to say foul. I don't know what I was going to say. Actually, never mind. Okay, so foul creatures dwell here. So I assume that you have. I wish that Roll20 did a better job of like updating the character sheet. Like, did you add one?
I did add one. The
And
the domain is the Tanglewood.
yeah, domain is Tanglewood.
Okay.
Theme is infested. So just fill that in and save it. I don't know, maybe like switch out of it or something. But then, okay, so I see it now. So now let's go to the details. We need to decide like the name of this place, which we can roll
Okay.
for if you want to roll a D100. It's in the Delve book, I think. Sites.
Yes. D100. That's gonna give us a 37.
Okay, so let's see. I'm not exactly sure. There's like a name generator somewhere. Maybe it's in here. There's settlement name. Okay, here we go. So you said 37.
Yes.
Um, this is a feature of the landscape. 37. Red Crest is the feature. So Red Crest. So that's a feature of the landscape. Maybe a historical event, or maybe a creature, or maybe a season or environmental aspect.
Huh. Red Crest.
What I'm saying is Red Crest is okay. I'm just saying we could roll again on a different table and possibly get a different name. Because I rolled a feature of the landscape. It could be that there's like red forest or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if like if there's a bunch of weird stuff in this forest anyway, if ooh, perfect. It's spring. So the pollen that gets released from the plants in the forest is actually red instead of yellow. So when the
Ooh.
sun sets, it looks like the edge of the forest is red.
That's why I have you people on this show with me. Site name Red Crest, so call it Red Crest.
Red Crest.
And the objective is to retrieve the black iron found here. right?
Yes.
So update the objective to say that. And then we need to decide how dangerous this place is. Somebody died of natural causes here. Natural as in like they didn't go into the storm. They died here and then they turned to black iron, and this is someone related to Glyn. So for whatever reason the tribe passed through here before, and that
Hmm.
person died in the process. So how dangerous is it? I mean, we can ask the oracle or we can just kind of decide.
Let's ask. Let's
Okay.
ask. That's
Fifty-fifty,
the
I think makes the most sense. 51 or greater, and
okay.
it's no higher than formidable.
Okay.
I might even say let's see, hold on, what'd you get?
81.
An
Sorry.
81. So it is no higher than formidable. That's okay. Is it formidable? Meaning, it's going to be kind of a challenge to get out of here. Let's see, what could we do to decide this? We could do another oracle roll to kind of like better define it.
Yes. Well, what makes it difficult?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, first of all, here's why I think it's more than troublesome. You have Glyn, an old man who's completely useless in combat. So
Yes.
if you find any trouble, it's all on Ashana.
Right.
Unless Ashana decides to bring somebody.
I think at this point it would be smart to bring people. It would have to be if she were to bring someone, it would have to be someone that she is completely honest about the plan with, because I feel like she doesn't steal all the time, and to just have more witnesses, that's just more people you have to hide from.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I was talking to Parker on chat. Is it is
No,
it are you bringing somebody or no?
no, I don't think I would.
Okay,
Um,
so because of that, it's definitely got to at least be dangerous.
yeah.
And this Tanglewood is infested with foul creatures.
What
Um,
if there's? I imagine like the tangled part is equally branches as much as it is like roots.
yeah, it says a perilous forest of eternal shadow. So it's just like a
Yeah.
thick ass forest,
Right. With
dummy
two
thick
C's.
forest.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So if there's parts like if there's the place where people are walking and there's space underneath of just like where the thickness is, um maybe that's where the creatures are. Like if there's enough like space between the branches crossing for something to like shoot out or something, like it's kind of like tunnels, kind of like space
Are you
underneath.
saying like when you traverse this forest, you actually traverse through like the middle portion, like the branches are
Yeah.
so big and entangled that you can like there's like three levels. There's the canopy, there's the very bottom. I forgot. I learned what the name of the very bottom is because I went to the redwoods the other day, but the it's something like canopy, but whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody in
Yeah.
chat look it up and let us know what it is. But anyway, there's the base, and then you're saying there's like a middle portion which people can
Right.
traverse. I like that. That's cool.
Right.
We're gonna do that. Um, if we're gonna retrieve the black iron, we might have to go to the floor at some point.
Right. I'm thinking if Glenn is small and useless, he comes from a long line of small and useless in combat, I'll say.
Yeah.
Useless in combat people that would also sort of burrow themselves or get pulled down by whatever the hell is under there. So you have to literally find them.
Okay.
And sort of that would be dangerous.
I'm still oscillating because it's. I don't want to make it. A part of me doesn't want to make it formidable because it's just going to take us longer to get the hell out of here, and we're just trying
Ah,
to do like a favor, but at the same time, it's a difficult favor. Like Glenn is turning out to be a relatively harmless old man, and we're about to knock him over the head and take his black iron.
correct.
So
I think
maybe it needs to be
it could just
formidable,
be it could just be the top of dangerous.
but the top of
Like
dangerous is formidable.
no, this is true. The the just a little bit lower than that before it becomes
All
formidable.
right.
It's just
Okay.
dangerous.
We'll agree that if things change, if circumstances change in the
Yes.
tangled infested or the infested Tanglewood, we're gonna change these
Yes.
cards, it might become more formidable.
Right.
All right, I like the way you think. Now let's just decide the types of denizens we will find. There are very common denizens. Um, it would be, I don't know. It has to be something that we can interact with. So like rats would be common, but they'd have to be pretty aggressive rats. But maybe there are rats.
I think there would be. I'm trying to think of animals that like to tunnel. And the only thing that I'm thinking of is Dotsons. So,
Are you saying there are wild Dotsons in this forest? I mean,
yes, that's
okay.
exactly what I'm saying. Like wild boars, they're way worse than pigs. These are these are wild
But they
Dotsons.
taste like hot dog.
Yes.
How do you spell Dotson?
It's a German word, so it's Dachs.
That's right.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
like Dachstein, right?
Dachs. Exactly. Hund.
Okay.
Dachs and then Hund.
What is it called? Oh, a pack of wild
Um,
dachshunds.
yes.
Okay. Um, thank you for that. Now
That's
let's think about more common things. Let's at least two, preferably three common denizens of this area, and we can think of more intelligent things. Maybe there's
right.
fairies.
Oh, can there be fairies? Like, let's yeah, some just like classic Will o' the Wisp looking things. That honestly makes sense for a Tanglewood that they would just lead you in there to get you lost.
So wisps.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. What about another one? There's
Okay, we've got
uh,
something on the floor, something in the air.
nightmare spider.
Now, go into a nightmare spider.
Nightmare spiders are monstrous creatures which dwell in caves, ruins, thick woods, and other dark places. They have narrow, translucent bodies, 3 pairs of black eyes, and long, slender legs. They typically feed on bats and rodents, but opportunistic hunters attack anything straying into their path.
I hate that. That's perfect.
Okay, so there are nightmare spiders in this infested.
Perfect name. That's chilling. Yes.
And
Then I think we have to have bats.
okay,
Because yeah.
I hear you. Bats. Okay, now time for something more uncommon. Let's pick at least two. Like what's like a top predator kind of a thing,
Hmm.
We could do a version of a cave lion, or
I was literally thinking like a saber tooth tiger type deal. I don't know how well tigers can climb, but something like that, like a big cat that climbs well.
what do you think of this? This is interesting. I came upon something called an iron-racked beast. We don't know the origin of the iron blight, nor do we know its cure. It's almost like they're talking about our campaign. It inflicts creatures of the wilds and transforms their flesh to iron. They are scarred by patches of metal flesh within ragged, weeping wounds. The iron is like a parasite devouring the host. In time, the blight takes too much and the beast dies. But this is interesting.
I think that's perfect. That was really yes.
I think
yes.
Sean Tompkin has been screaming at us from behind the screen this whole time. Pick the iron rack beast! It's exactly what you need.
I think she's gonna need a decoy, and that would be perfect.
Yeah, that's very interesting. One more, something like something
Like
peaceful, like an elephant or something,
like a big thing. Yes.
A heffalump.
I mean, okay, that those things are scary and are not peaceful.
No, they aren't. We talking?
We
about,
don't have time.
I forgot about the Dr. Seuss. Right, that's Dr. Seuss, right? He's like,
no, that's Winnie the Pooh.
Oh yes, though
that
you're right.
Acid
they are pretty,
trip.
Yeah, they're pretty freaky.
Yeah, not them. But I do think we should just kind of low key, just straight up have dinosaurs.
Okay.
One dinosaur.
We'll have what's a dinosaur that would maybe pterodactyls because they'd work well in or something that could climb.
Would. Yeah,
giant sloth is technically a dinosaur.
Absolutely amazing.
Okay,
giant sloth.
Yes. The gentle giants. Finally, let's just choose like one rare thing. It could be something more supernatural, like somebody who lives in these woods that's a sorcerer, or
Hmm.
Just something else.
That just
It is
almost
woods,
doesn't.
so an ent might make sense, but that's kind of played out at this point with us.
Yeah, I like the idea of just like one person, like one solitary person being there. Like we don't have to interact with them at all, but they are just like they just literally live in the forest. They look like those people from Avatar that like bend vines.
Uh, uh the
There's
the like the Navi or
no the animated one. They're
oh
like low key rednecks and they're in the forest and they bend vines. That's
oh
what I'm thinking.
okay. So we'll say like a druid.
Yes,
Okay,
a
druid.
single
And
druid.
then finally something that's unforeseen. I almost want you to roll for this, but
Yes.
uh, one, two, three, four, five. Roll a d6. Roll a d6, and I've got
Okay.
6 horrors that might exist.
Do you think we're gonna encounter them?
Well, it's unforeseen. You'd have to roll 100 to actually get it on the denizens table. One. Jesus.
Okay.
I have something here called a blight hound. The blight hounds lurk on blood-soaked battlefields, uh, uh, catacombs, drawn to the dead and foretelling great doom. They appear as gaunt, emaciated hounds, often mistaken for starving animals. Yeah, maybe let's do it because maybe it'll bring some kind of narrative plot point. There's something this blight hound is chasing or something, you know.
Yes.
All right, we have chosen our place. This does not seem dangerous. It seems formidable, but we will venture into Red Crest nonetheless. Um, because we are delving, we are going to delve the depths. That's the most obvious move. Actually, let's see. We discovered the site. We just developed it. Yeah, we're going to delve the depths. So, first roll of the night, or at least first narrative roll of the night.
Okay.
Let's roll. How are you moving within this infested Tanglewood? Actually, set the scene, Zakiya. Like, coming upon Redcrest, what does it look like, and how do you proceed entering Redcrest?
I think there the actual entrance, the beginning of Red Crest, is actually kind of like a like something you hike up into because the roots are sort of like reaching out of the forest into sort of the plains of where we started. So Ashana and Glenn are like hiking up these roots into the forest, and then it just like you can't even tell the difference between roots, stump, and branches anymore. It just literally looks like crossing all over the place. Like the eventually there's like a atmospheric perspective where it just gets super green.
Mm.
Like it goes from like clear, like chlorophyll green to this like pale thing. It's not clouds, it's just dense. And because it's all like wood, like solid wood, sound actually travels pretty well.
Mm.
So you can hear a lot of things, but you don't know where they're coming from because they're like
Yeah.
echoing off of stuff.
That can be both disorienting and terrifying, too. Like, especially if you have sounds like predatory noises coming from all places. Yeah.
Right. You don't know until they're too close.
Mm-hmm.
How close they are to you.
Very interesting. Yeah, so you guys go in. Glenn the whole time is just kind of like bullshitting and joking and this place has gotten a little busier since I was last here. You are delving the depths. How are you moving forward? With haste, with stealth, with observation or intuition?
I think she's moving forward with haste. Um, because this isn't the end all be all for figuring out like what's going on with her wife, but it seems like a really important step.
Yeah,
So she's like, let's go.
yeah,
Let's go.
yeah. Okay, go ahead and roll plus edge, and let's see how you do.
Cool. Just the that's it, right?
Yeah, if you click, I think you did it. Yeah, rolling plus edge. You
Sweet.
did a weak hit. Okay. On a weak hit, roll on the following table according to your stat. So you rolled with edge, roll the d100,
Okay.
and you get an 88.
88.
Mark progress twice and reveal a danger. So go to the progress of the site. So under sight, we're going to say that you mark every time you do a dangerous. Every time you succeed on a dangerous, it's 2, and because that you're going to have 4. That's great. That's a really great start.
Okay.
Reveal a danger though. So I think we have our dangers on our theme table. Go ahead and roll a d100. Well, actually, yeah, roll a d100, but we'll re-roll if it's over 45.
Okay. Perfect.
37.
37.
Trap or snare? A trap or snare?
I really don't think the likelihood, because we're still at the beginning of the forest, of meeting the druid at this point, very low. Encountering one of the druid's traps, very high.
I think the most obvious thing is we just face danger.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you've necessarily fallen into the trap, but if you roll well, maybe you catch it before you fall in, right? Let's face danger.
Cool.
That is depends on how you're facing danger. With agility, with courage, with aggressive action, with stealth, or with expertise.
Agility.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Edge, please.
All right. How do I?
Oh, go back to summary. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, another weak hit. On a weak hit, you succeed, but face a troublesome cost. You are either delayed, you are hurt, dispirited, or you sacrifice resources.
I feel like between the two of us, Glenn would be the one to get in the trap. Glenn is the one to get in the trap, and Shauna's the one to yeet him back or try to help.
Okay.
But then the cost is either him getting injured would not be great.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you could maybe suffer stress, as in taking care of this old man who just is not minding where he's stepping is stressful.
Yes,
so
I think that makes sense.
Reduce your spirit to 3, and we can continue on. Now, the good news is that although he nearly died stepping into this trap, you guys have made a lot of progress. You're deep into the forest now, right? At a certain point, we either have to get to what we're looking for, or we have to... I just realized we have to make progress on our first vow as well. So that's 1. At some point, we have to make camp if we take too long in here. But I'll say that for now, we're fine. If you'd like, you can continue to delve the depths, or we can try something like... I don't know if they're really necessary. Find an opportunity, or check your gear if you need something. Locate your objective. That's more towards the end. What do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe
you could secure an advantage. Okay, now I got to be on the lookout for traps or something like that.
That could work. I kind of want to ask him, because we don't really know. These are his ancestors. We wouldn't really know where exactly they are. But maybe if they're all nerds, if there's something specific that he would be looking for.
A long line of dweebs, right?
Yes, yeah. If there's a long line of, and you guys obviously take notes. So where would you guys? What is interesting about this place to you? What are the hot tourist spots in the Red Crest? Something like that, or just keep looking, keep looking for traps.
All right, let's just continue to delve the depths.
Cool.
Are you going to continue hastily, or are you now looking around?
I'm gonna look around.
Okay.
Because we made good progress so far. I don't think I have to.
This time
rush.
you are rolling plus wits.
Okay. Wits.
All right, a weak hit. On a weak hit, you will roll on the table according to what stat you use. So roll another d100.
Okay.
29. 29. We are going to mark progress. Which, yep, at our site, that's 2 points for the site, but we will reveal a danger.
Okay.
So, can you find an opportunity? No. One more. Here we go. Reveal a danger. Roll a d100 to reveal a danger. 12. Check the theme card. All right. Theme. Roll me a d30. Maybe you can do that, huh? Try to roll a d30.
Can I do that?
Roll 20 is powerful enough to be able to just make up die. Come on.
I was gonna say I can roll a d10 3 times.
Try d30, goddammit.
How do I do that?
Just the same way maybe you do normally. Roll. Hold on, let me type it
I just
out.
see the little like
/
pre-selected.
roll d30.
Oh, see.
I don't know. It didn't work. Oh, it did work. You see.
Oh.
Now my rolls don't count. I'm just the humble host here, so please
Yes.
roll a d30. Now that I know
Okay,
I can do that, we can do exact numbers here.
Is there a space between / roll
No,
and
/
d30?
roll and then space d30.
Sweet. We do it. We did it.
Whoops.
That's creepy. Great.
Okay, whoa, yeah, that is creepy. All right, we are destined to find a toxic or sickening environment. A toxic or sickening environment.
Ooh, there's a joke there. Okay.
Are you saying it's like the Joker laughing gas?
No. No, I was thinking if it's like a family reunion.
What?
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Okay. Actually toxic and sickening
Ishana makes a
environment.
corner and her mom is like, geez, you're really gonna wear that to the Tanglewood forest?
Exactly. Ooh, what's toxic in a forest?
Well, you mentioned the pollen. What if the pollen at a certain point can get so dense it can be toxic because it's like 90% of what's in the air or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Ishana or Glenn has mad allergies.
Ooh, so set the scene. Maybe they both, really are like suffering from this allergy.
Yeah, if we don't have okay, if we don't have a specific time of day, so we'll
say like
call
midday.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
if you want, we'll make it whatever time of day you want.
I was gonna say we'll call it golden hour, so it's pretty.
Okay.
And then as the sun sets, like the pollen starts to like descend over them. We get the like red crest moment. It's very cute. But it starts to go like descend as it gets dark. And like at first it's just like a little bit of sneezing, a little bit of eyes watering, but then it's like full on like attacking their bodies. This is not just regular pollen.
It's like Flonase take the wheel, right? And it just is not happening. So we need to
Yes. Exactly.
I think facing danger is obvious, right? This is suddenly a precarious situation.
Right.
All right, so let's face danger, and that is well, how are you going to face this danger? With what attribute are you going to use?
I think the only thing that might work is either attempting to cover their face or going under the
Well,
like.
if you were to cover your face, that's kind of a clever thing. You'd be using your wits. If you're just going to try to get out of this level, you could argue edge or maybe iron.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's try to go below into the little tunnel. But everything gross is there. Let's cover our faces.
All right. You're going to roll plus wits to see if you can properly cover yourself.
Nope.
Nice.
It's another weekend.
Wow. I guess they have a CDC in the tribe, and they have shown their folks how to properly use their mask. So when facing danger on a weak hit, you succeed, but you are going to face some kind of cost. Are we suffering momentum, enduring harm, enduring stress, or losing supply?
I think there's some harm to be taken with
Okay.
not like running out of it. They're just kind of sticking with it.
Yeah, and I imagine once you get down out of there, you're still coughing, you're still having a reaction, so like now Shauna's going to be breathing hard and that kind of stuff. So let's reduce our health by 1.
Great. Oh, we have really good health. Okay, good.
Fortunately, we're okay on health so far. Uh now you have to endure harm because of that. So that's another roll. Where is our endure harm? Suffer moves. My favorite page. You are going to
Yes.
either roll on your health or your iron, whichever is higher. They're the same. I should look up at the character sheet before I finish these sentences.
It's okay. Strong hit.
Okay.
Cool.
On a strong hit, you shake it off. So you may return your health to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
So
Now,
actually, I'm sorry. You have 2 options. You can either lose 1 momentum and take +1 health, or you can embrace the pain and gain a momentum. So you can go either to 6 momentum or go down to 4 momentum but gain a health.
let's embrace the pain.
Yeah. So we're going to go to 6 in our momentum.
6. Yes.
But as you were planning to anyway, you are making your way down the canopy, and it's getting darker and darker as you go, and you hope that this heavy pollen is not going to affect the deeper areas. I mean, it sounds like you're still plunging. You're still delving those depths, huh?
Yes.
All right. We're going to use which attribute? Edge, shadow, or wits?
Let's use edge.
Using edge. So you are moving quicker now. Go ahead and roll edge, and let's see what we get. Another weak hit. On a weak hit, roll the D100.
We are hitting those weak hits.
Yeah. Just a nice, solid, middle-of-the-road session. 92. Okay, 92.
Say that now.
Oh, man, you keep rolling this. You're going to mark progress twice, but you're going to reveal a danger. Now,
Okay.
the twice is you now have 8 progress. I mean, you could possibly try to roll to locate your objective, but we have to reveal a danger first. So roll a D100. What's it say? 6.
6.
Check the theme card.
Oh boy.
This was a weak hit, and we are revealing a danger. Roll the D30 again. /roll space D30.
That's not it. Great.
Did it happen? There it is.
26.
It's funny because it has to think a little bit harder on those random. 26.
This is not a real dice.
A denizen lays in wait.
Yes, I was so. Oh, good.
All right.
Good.
So
Which
now,
one?
to decide, we have to roll another D100, and that will decide what denizen lays in wait. Say druid is all of these. A 92. Oh, just under druid, but we find a giant sloth. Now, what it says is the denizen lays in wait. Well, I guess is literally what it would be doing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a danger. So how is the giant sloth dangerous? It doesn't necessarily have to attack you, but maybe it's bumping you out of the way or, taking a huge dump on you or something.
I think the funniest thing about our sloths is that anytime they can fall.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love the idea of suddenly hearing
huge. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, so a giant sloth loses its grip from up high and comes tumbling down, and we have to face danger to ensure that we don't get squashed by this thing. So we are going to face danger, and did I just roll or did you just roll? I don't know what that was.
You just rolled.
Okay. Ignore that roll. How are we moving? What attribute are we using to avoid the sloth?
Oh, man. I feel like...
It feels like a video game.
I feel like we're going to try to move... It's a big sloth.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's like football field size.
Oh, my God.
Boy. Is that too big?
That's That's like bigger than a whale. Like that's pretty damn big. That's like Godzilla. Like we're getting into Godzilla territory when they're that
Okay.
big. I
So
think it
not
needs to be
quite.
like something that can like be in a red. You know, when you think of the redwoods and their giant size, you know, something that's like bigger than a bear, but not necessarily bigger than an elephant,
Oh,
right?
okay. So like maybe like 12 feet tall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It just is
Okay.
like free falling, and
Okay, that's not as bad. Okay.
no, a football. You can't avoid a fucking
That's
giant
I was
sloth
like
football field. All right,
yeah, there's no amount of speed. But if it's just like a slightly like hefty boy,
it's a hefty
I
boy.
think we could try. I think agility makes sense. I'm gonna have to grab Glenn
True,
as well because I
true.
mean
If you can
he.
justify aggressive action, forceful defense, strength, or endurance, you can roll plus iron. I mean, you'd have to like he has to like forcefully move the two of you somehow or something.
I was gonna say I'd like to push him if I could. If I can charge and push him out of the way, and like me charging is also running out of the way, I think that might
I
work.
will say you can, but if you did that, your companion would have to endure harm because there's no way little old Glenn is going to take a linebacker hit from
That's
Ashana.
true. That's true. She's large as well.
So you can roll iron, but I think there would have to be, I don't know.
I kind of like it.
Okay.
I don't want to body Glenn, but
It's
Sloth's
the only thing
fault.
you can think of in the moment. Like you only have a split
Right.
second.
Yeah. I think she's going to rely on her strength. She's a swole woman,
All right.
and she's going to check the fuck out of Glenn.
So you're rolling plus iron, and you
Course
roll a
it's
very strong hit. On a strong hit, you are successful, and you will take +1 momentum. So your momentum can go up to 7. And what does it look like? This moment.
I think it all like boils down to a couple of like hits. Like soundtrack for this moment is literally just someone hitting a very simple drum, and it is at first it's whatever the giant sloth is breaking through levels of the forest, and then it cuts to Ashana full sprinting in slow mo to where the beat is just her like hitting the ground hard on these like hollow wooden branches, and then the final like drum is her like hitting poor Glenn and his fragile little bones, and he goes flying a good like 10 feet. And then the last piece is the giant sloth breaking through to the bottom of the forest.
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
that makes
yeah.
sense. And you know, we are so close for our sight. We are close enough that we could attempt to locate our objective. Maybe like we managed to dodge the blunt trauma of being hit by the sloth, but we still tumble down lower. And we could attempt now to locate our objective, and that might let us fall near the black iron.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Okay.
yeah, we should use what the giant sloth
So
gave us.
when your exploration of a site comes to an end, well, hold on, because we're not really coming to an end here. Find an opportunity, maybe when you encounter a helpful situation or a feature within
Mm-hmm.
a site. Maybe that works better. The problem is that we've given ourselves a lot of progress already.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, do we do this before we handle what happened to Glenn, or should we?
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. We should have Glenn endure harm first.
Because I think that'll give us a little bit more of a
That
challenge.
will definitely define a lot for us. So here we go. Companion endure harm. They are going to suffer their health equal to the amount of harm that they inflicted. Let's just say 1. We'll just say 1.
Okay.
So, you will either roll plus heart or plus your companion's health. So if your health is at 5, he's now at 4. Uh,
Oh, I'm at 3.
but your heart, I'm talking about his health is at would theoretically be at 5. So now it's at 4. Your heart is at 2. So basically roll. You don't have a +4 anywhere. Just roll a health +1 to make it 4, and let's see how he endures his harm. Okay, on a strong hit, your companion or rallies give them +1 health. His health goes back to 5. So maybe the wind got knocked out of him, but he, no broken bones or anything. You
Okay.
landed a lot of branches and stuff, right?
Cool.
All right. So this is part of me is worried that we might be progressing too quickly sometimes, but I might be wrong
Mm-hmm.
about that. Because like we still have a lot of progress to make in our vow of getting this black iron. So some kind of complication still needs to occur to like have this make sense. But just because we locate our objective doesn't necessarily mean we're that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to locate our objective. It's the most sensible thing to do next. I think you need to roll 2d10 against the progress you have made on this location, which is 8.
Okay. Boop.
What'd you get?
4 with
2d10, so
two
it's actually the
twos.
2 2s. So I think that's going to be a strong hit. On a strong hit, you locate your objective, and the situation favors you. Make another move now and add +1, or take +1 momentum. Which would you like?
Let's take. Let's take momentum. Or actually, wait. What are the moves that we could make? Is this is where we could
Well,
like delve some more?
we need to set the scene a little bit. Where's the black iron? What is the situation? It obviously favors us, but I think really what we have to realize is we still have to get out of this forest. So there's like another
Right.
back end to this, which maybe that's where we focus on our original vow a little bit more on. Um, but the point
Yeah.
is kind of set the scene here for like what it is to find this stuff.
I think it. Oh. Okay. I think if the giant sloth falling helped us find the iron, maybe the ancestor is way older than we thought and is sort of below where a lot of the below where we were walking is like they sort of the forest is sort of grown over them and the sloth sort of crushing this part helped us sort of see where people were at before the forest grew over them, if that makes sense.
So you're saying we have found the place that the black iron is definitively in, is what you're saying, as opposed to finding the
Yeah.
black iron?
Yeah. We have
Okay.
we have a location. We still got to do a little bit more digging, but what's worrying me is that that was really loud.
Ah.
And this this forest echoes.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, actually.
Um,
So here's how I
yeah.
think we're going to approach this. You find the location of the black iron. Glenn kind of looks, oh, it's definitely this, something like that. I'm just going to change the objective and I'm going to reset the progress that we're making. So the new objective is
Okay.
return to the tribe. Find the black iron, return to the tribe. And we have to, it's still dangerous, but
Yes.
we have to kind of start again to get out of here. But I will say that counts for progress in our vow of returning the black iron. Um, let's. What is this new place like? Let's roll on the. Let's roll a d100, and that will determine the feature of this kind of new area.
All right. 97.
Interesting. 97. Something unusual or unexpected. Now, you described it as, you said, a place where they had previously been. Something unusual or unexpected. Is it where they was there an encampment here, or is there what would be unusual or unexpected?
I think um I think seeing I think Ishana's looking down and seeing like the people sort of buried underneath the roots of the forest. It would kind of seem like this kind of happened to them, but it would be weird if they like if they sort of trapped themselves here, if that makes sense. Like
Ah,
like it was intentional that they sort of sealed themselves up. under the
Yeah,
roots.
that's
Or
interesting.
like somebody did. Maybe
Well,
not them.
well, you're making me think of like coffins made of roots, like people
Yes.
basically like put themselves under the roots and the roots grew over them or something.
Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's unusual. Certainly unexpected. Um, is like Glenn expecting this? Like, is this
No, oh no.
okay?
No.
All right.
It's not a coffin. It's not like a funeral rites thing. It's like a jail,
Oh, interesting.
maybe, which is not great. I think he's expecting to find a bunch of iron nerds, and instead he found like people that were like trapped here on purpose or like
Interesting.
left here.
So there are like I imagine it like you know remember an Alien when they're all like in those stasis pods? Maybe it's in Aliens, but the point is they're like it looks like coffins, but you can like see their faces. So maybe there's like roots kind of growing, but you can still see their faces. But there's like a
Yes.
glow emanating from behind them or something. Okay,
Yeah.
so they come upon this unusual place. Remember, there is a druid in this forest that we don't yet know of, but we've seen their trap.
That's right.
Maybe this is their handiwork.
Mhm.
But this is where the Black Iron's supposed to be. So
Right.
we need to make a roll or two to find it. We need to gather information or delve the depths.
Gather information.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wits, right?
You would be rolling with wits.
Okay.
The other, you could always try to secure an advantage, but there's also make camp or, in a way, this isn't like under combat moves. There's this thing called battle, which last session I kind of realized is like if you have an objective, you can roll battle to determine whether you can achieve that objective. And this is kind of like you're trying to look for it. It's not perfect, but it might. I don't know.
I'm not against it. I think,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, at this, we're still kind of under like a time constraint.
always.
So
Yeah.
it could be that like hurry up and find it because technically we found it, we just haven't finished. So that would, I think we could do battle.
I don't think we can do battle because it's in the combat moves, and this isn't combat.
Okay.
I'm the jerk face for bringing it up in the first place. So I apologize. I got you all jazzed about battling your search for this iron. I just don't think it's going to work. I think we have to stick with the rules, and we need to do either face danger of just like looking around in this weirdo place or gather information. What do you think?
Actually, I feel like face danger would be good
Okay.
because this is creepy.
So are you moving
Straight up
with
creepy.
precision and agility, or are you doing with expert insight and trying to use your mind to understand what's going on here?
Precision and agility.
All right, roll plus edge, and let's see what we get.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice. Strong hit. You are successful. Take +1 momentum. Your momentum
Okay.
is going to go up to...
9.
Your momentum has gone up to 9? Interesting. Okay.
I think we started at 5 or 6.
Okay. All right. So my thought is, at what point are we finding the iron? We just rolled a strong hit. Maybe we find it. Is it in one
I
of
think so.
these prison cells, or is it just out?
I think it's in one of the prison cells. There's gonna be like a significant amount of like machete swiping to sort of get in there.
Okay.
This is the kind of thing you have to like chip off, right?
Well, black iron is like literally the size of a person. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we could argue that maybe there's some way, or maybe he just needs enough for whatever he's planning to make. So you just need like,
Okay.
like a shoulder carrying size piece of black iron. Does that sound
Oh.
logical?
Yeah, that makes sense. So how?
So
Okay,
he's
so
like,
he.
all right, cut off his thigh. I just need like a thigh size of.
I was gonna say he needs like a leg.
Yeah.
Do I also need a leg, or can I get away with like?
Well, we finally come
Our
to the
chunk.
$1,000,000 question: is how do we start approaching this? Because this whole time, Ishana has to be thinking about this. Like,
Right.
Glenn is saying, just cut it here. Blah, blah. But in Shauna's mind, it's like, what do I do right now? Do I knock him out? Do I take all of it? Do I only take a piece? So what do you think? Do we want to roll for it or?
I think we want to roll for it.
All right, so I'm just going to warn you that if it rolls a certain way, it's like Ashana is going to, possibly kill this guy and. All right, so let's first decide, does she follow his instructions or does she knock him out? Do you think that's a good dichotomy or is there a better dichotomy? Like, I'm trying to drill it down to...
Yeah, like beat by beat. How's this gonna work? I think she's gonna. I think she's gonna follow his instructions.
Okay.
I think they might also suggest making camp.
She might make camp. She might say,
yeah,
let's make camp.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Glenn would be like, no, we don't need to make camp. And I think you need to make one compel roll to determine, like, how easy this is going to be.
Okay.
So a compel roll, are you trying to charm, pacify, or barter, threaten or incite, or lie or swindle?
Lie.
You are trying to lie. You are going to roll plus shadow, your other weakest attribute. And
let's go.
It'll be a weak hit or a strong hit.
I would burn that momentum. We have some to burn.
We kind of need whatever you're planning to work, right?
Yeah.
So on a strong hit, they'll do what you want or share what they know. Take +1 momentum. So you now have max +10 momentum. If you use this exchange to gather information, make that move now and add +1. So only gather information you'd have a +1 on. So if you can justify it, you can. Otherwise, you can just make camp.
Yeah, I think we'll just make camp. Right. Okay, but hold on, because I burned momentum to make it a strong hit.
Thank you for saying that. So you're going to 3, because it always resets to 2, and you have gained 1 now. So now it's at +3.
Okay, sweet.
So you have no information that you feel you need to gather. Let's make camp. You're going to roll plus supply.
Supply. Great.
All right. On a weak hit, you only choose one of these. You can either recuperate, partake, in which you would increase your health but suffer supply, relax, focus, or prepare. Prepare would give you a +1 to your next undertake journey. That might not be for a little bit, though. We could put it towards the Delve the Depths.
Yeah. I think prepare makes sense. Okay, she's gonna wait until he goes to sleep.
Your next Delve the Depths, you will have a +1. But here's the thing: what is happening that night? What is her plan?
Okay, she's gonna try to wait until he goes to sleep.
Yeah, he's probably like, I'm tired. It's a good idea. I'm just gonna sleep, and he just immediately is like snoring.
I was gonna say they've been like hiking all day. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna take too long. But she has to now stealthily break iron.
Oh, jeez.
Which
I mean, look, Shauna is a +3 in iron. I would argue for at least a little while she could probably carry. Oh my God, could she carry a person-sized piece of iron for even 5 minutes?
That's
how much does? Well, I'm about to ask how much does 200 pounds of iron weigh, but that's not how this works. If a normal person weighs 150 to 200 pounds, iron would be like close to double that. I mean, I don't know.
I was gonna say it's very dense. Okay. It's like it substitutes the volume of the person, not the mass.
Yeah. So
it's gonna be a lot.
All right. So what is the plan? She's gonna try to stealthily do this.
I think she's gonna I think the best bet is to stealthily snap. This is bad. Are there any children in this hidden forest jail?
No. Well, I don't know. We could roll for it.
Yeah, because if they're...
How likely do you think there's any children?
Very small.
Okay, so
because it's jail.
Yep. There's never children in jail.
There's never
because it's unlikely, 76 or greater, there is children.
Okay.
Anything less there is no children. Okay.
Great. Perfect.
There are there's 7-years-olds in the prison. Okay, so with
Okay.
no children around, are you going to face danger by trying to do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to like snap a hand. Oh yeah, yeah, because did we decide how much I needed? Does it matter?
We can decide now. I mean, I think that a leg is certainly enough for a lot of stuff, but a leg is going to take more work than like snapping a hand.
Right, that's gonna be a lot louder
But a
to like.
hand isn't a lot. Like, what can you do with a hand? Like, maybe make a axe head out of it.
Right, if it's important. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be something bigger. Also, that kind of raises the stakes some. So I think maybe not as much as Glenn needs, but like an arm.
Okay, you're gonna either way. You're gonna roll plus shadow because there's no way you can't not do this with some kind of stealth.
Perfect.
Oh god, these weak hits. On a weak hit, you succeed, but you face a troublesome cost.
Yeah. Like
So how does this even look? Like I imagine like as he snores, like on the up snore, ching. You know what I mean?
so. Yeah, I think the success is the piece does break off. Like it's exactly what she needs. But again, this forest is like an echo chamber.
Uh,
So either homeboy wakes up or something else wakes up.
well, here's the thing. The way face danger works is that you either suffer momentum, endure harm, endure stress, or endure supply or suffer supply. You could argue to reduce your momentum because it's like it takes a long time to break this piece off in between all of these snores, like timing it.
Yeah,
So reduce your momentum to 2,
cool.
but you've got the piece that you need, and um, we need to get out of here, huh? What is the next step?
I mean, I don't know how much Where do you hide an arm? Is the
Yeah, I feel
question.
like you could put it behind a shirt or something. I mean,
Okay. If it doesn't have to be whole, we might as well just break that thing down, sort of fold it, and then tuck it in.
I don't know if you can fold iron.
No, not like really, like just break it one more time.
It's going to require another face danger roll because unless you go far away so he can't hear your snores or excuse me, your banging.
I think I think it's worth it just to try because I don't want to have to deal with it like falling out or
All
something.
right.
So I'll go a little bit further off.
Okay.
If he wakes up, I'll just be like, nature potty, mind your
Uh
business,
huh.
and break this thing one more
So once
time.
again, you are going to roll plus shadow to try to deceptively break this again away from earshot. You succeed, but again, you are going to face a cost. Now, we lost momentum last time. What do we lose this time? And if you want to face a danger, like if you're thinking like a denizen shows up or
Yeah, because I think at this point she's good with Glenn, but there's a lot of things out there.
all right, so let's reveal a danger. I think is probably something. Roll a d100.
65.
65. You face an environmental or architectural hazard. An environmental or architectural hazard. So it's not a creature per se.
Well, if the pollen's already descended,
It
that's
could be
not
the
too
pollen.
bad.
We could try to roll a like an action and theme table to see what it gives
Yeah.
us. So roll 2d100.
Okay.
89. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 3 and 86. So 3 weaken, 86 desolation. Weaken desolation. A desolation that weakens or a weakening of desolation.
Yeah, I'm interpreting like desolation as like nothing or no one ever like being around.
Uh-huh.
If that weakens, doesn't that mean somebody shows up or something
Oh,
shows up?
to weaken desolation. Sure, if that's how you're interpreting it. Yeah, absolutely. Um, who shows up? This is not necessarily. We haven't rolled a miss, so it doesn't necessarily have to be an enemy. But if you
Yeah.
wanted, we could roll 51 or greater, and it's someone who is not going to hurt us, or doesn't have malicious intent towards us.
Yeah. So just one
Roll it.
D100.
Yeah, roll a d100, 51 or greater. It's someone who does not have. Oh, someone who does have malicious intent. I think
Great.
it's worth at this point to roll on the denizens table.
Yes.
53.
Okay.
That would be nightmare spiders.
I hate that.
So
Cool.
all of that banging, all that clanging has attracted the spiders who can feel it in their webs. They started traveling down to this level.
And there's like a whole sloth carcass. Like, there's reason to stay.
Oh, snap.
I hate that.
Oh,
okay.
Man. So we find ourselves in a situation where we've got the iron broken, but we look up and now there's a number of spiders. We have Glyn behind us. Are we leaving Glyn behind? Are we going to get him? Are we fighting these spiders? What are we doing?
We are going to okay, first instinct is to get Glenn and leave.
Okay.
If possible. But I also know Glenn can't run, so we're going to try to run. If not, fight the spiders.
All right. First, I just want to remember to increase your progress on your vow, because now you have the iron, right?
Yes.
Still have to decide whether you're going to completely betray old Glyn. But maybe you can here, because now there's like this chaos of, we got to run from the spiders. We don't have time or whatever. So you run back to Glyn. You wake him up. I imagine it might take a slap or two, but he wakes up. And what do you tell him?
We have to go now. There's a bunch of spiders outside.
But we haven't gotten
just go.
But we haven't gotten the
Don't
black
think about
iron.
it. I got it. And I have the leg, right?
You have the pieces that you broke in half, yeah.
Oh, do I just have my piece? Do I not have his piece too?
No, all you got was the one piece you broke off for yourself.
So that was bad planning.
Are you showing him it? Because I think either way, you might need to compel him, because he said, I want the leg.
No, I'm not going to show it to him.
All right, you need to compel
I'm going to say
him.
we just come...
Okay. I think he's going to refuse unless he gets it. So you need to compel him, and that is a relationship move. Are you charming and pacifying him? Are you threatening him? Or are you lying or swindling him?
I'm going to threaten him, because at this point, it's not safe. We're both going to die. We'll just come back and get iron later.
Roll plus iron. And let's see if you can compel him. Yes! Yes! Yes!
Cool. Fine.
Finally, the dice allow an interesting narrative twist. He refuses. And he comes over to the iron and he's poking at you. You didn't get the leg. I didn't ask for the arm. I asked for the leg.
Oh my God.
And I imagine as he's saying this, he's turning and looking at you and pointing, and there's spiders coming out from behind him, right? About to pounce him. Anything you want to add to that scenario?
Well, I don't think I need to add anything. I think it's stressful enough.
Anything, this is a good place to stop for the night. I think
thank God.
Great place to stop. Leave this mess for some other player.
Cool.
There are a bunch of nightmare spiders about to possibly eat Ashana and our new buddy Glyn.
Yep.
Good session, Zakiya. I like it.
It got real scary real fast.
It always does in our Ironsworn session. So we have one job left, which is to roll a d6 and to find out who is coming in after you. We've had Allegra, who is 5. So 4 and 5 are out because you're 4. So roll a d6. Of course.
Perfect.
Roll
one more
d6.
time.
Yeah, thank you. 5,
great.
Of course. Yes.
One more time. Sounds great.
The gods hate us. Oh!
2.
I believe that is Caleb.
Okay.
So the next time we play, Caleb will assist us in getting the hell out of this infested Tanglewood.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you, Zakiya, so much. That was a really fun session.
Of course.
Anything worth mentioning, plugging before we end our session?
No. Episode 8, Ashoka episode 8 comes out on Friday.
That's right.
I think that's it. Other
Yeah,
than the regular stuff.
yeah. Next week we'll come back with Heroes You Should Know and more Ironsworn in another episode.
Yeah.
We're getting close. We still there are more episodes in Ashoka than there was in the first arc of Doom to Repeat. So we've got a little bit of while before they're all out, but they're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you again, Zakiya. Guys, thank you for listening and watching. If you like what we do, please remember that we have a Patreon. If you want to subscribe to Twitch, that's also a lovely way to support us. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.